This week on Weekly Wonder, we're talking about the recent ban on bandages that came into effect April 1st in the Netherlands. What does this actually mean, and is it something we will see proliferate throughout the sport in coming months and years? First off, as of last Monday, the use of bandages on horses during dressage, show jumping, and driving competitions on the showgrounds is no longer permitted. The rule is already in effect for cross-country and vaulting. The KNHS claims that scientific evidence is always the basis for a rule change of this type, and there have been plenty of studies done on this subject in recent years. In this particular case, the studies mostly pertain to heat accumulation within the tendon core, leading to long-term damage of the internal structures. Plus, the studies show that bandages may not even be that useful in terms of protection. So that brings us to the basics. Why bandages in the first place? 1, protection. 2, support, and 3, aesthetics. Basically, people like how 4 matching polos look. But for the KNHS, they claim that it's very clear from the research that we should stop using them, and that we should never place aesthetics above risk, especially since there are useful alternatives. There are always pros and cons to consider when discussing a change like this, but the biggest con is clearly the temperature of the legs rising high under bandages, which has a detrimental effect on the elasticity of tendon tissue. It is sometimes compared to boiling an egg. The structure of the tendon fibers changes, which can damage them. It doesn't help if you cool your legs immediately after riding either, because that's like first setting your house on fire and then putting it out. The damage has already been done. Main things to note. Legs get extra hot under bandages. Clear. Cell damage begins at 40 degrees Celsius and cell death at over 42.4. And the study showed tendon cores rose above 45 degrees with bandages on. Cooling of leg tendons occurs via air circulation, and anything covering the leg clearly impedes that circulation. In terms of support, veterinarians claim that you can only truly stabilize a joint with a brace or plaster, but you obviously can't do sport without locomotive range of motion. So if you want protection, tendon boots work better than a piece of cloth. And if bandages are not applied correctly, they can become loose, a horse can become entangled in them, or if they are too tight, the material is not good, pressure can occur and the tendons will suffer even greater trauma. Lastly, bandages have long been thought to help limit range of motion to prevent overstretching of the tendons. However, the studies performed basically found that any kind of bandages both have no effect on preventing overstretching, nor did they limit range of motion. So major takeaways are this. Bandages of any kind, including standing bandages in the stables after competition, are no longer allowed on Dutch showgrounds at national events. The rule was made primarily because of an excessive increase in internal heat of the tendon core, but also because scientifically proven wraps don't significantly reduce tendon strain during exercise or protect against potential impact. To sum it up, the rule was implemented mainly for horse welfare, both to mitigate risks caused to the horses from undereducated caretakers and optically for the larger community. And it seems imminent that rules like this will spread to other nations. We are already seeing it trickle down to the sport, with no less than 3 horses in last week's 5-star Grand Prix competing without any leg protection whatsoever.